The vision of an all-inclusive church was demonstrated in the Catholic Archdiocese of Abuja, where the Archbishop Most Reverend Ignatius Kaigama celebrated the Easter Sunday Mass at St. Mark's Catholic Church, Durumi Mpape. Archbishop Kaigama emphasized on the message of never forgetting the people at the margins and the periphery of society.
We should stay here and work together and bring it up. And I am happy things are moving. Gradually, little by little, with your cooperation and with the support of God, you see, you are going to be working wonders here. And one day that church will give way to another bigger church, all because by the grace of God and the hard work you are doing. So we must not ignore those in the margins, those at the periphery of the church, and even in the FCT. The temptation is to focus on Asokoro, Garki, Maitama, and all that. Even our government does not realize we have places. When I go to places like Chukuku, I go to Karmajigi, I go to Kuchigoro, I come here to Durumi. I tell people I'm visiting these places and they say, are they in Nigeria or are they in China? Because they don't know where they are. Which means that we focus more on the center. And I thought, as an archbishop here, I should worry about the center, but also worry about those in the periphery who have no access to so many things. No access to good roads, no access to water. Imagine the other day we had to come and commission a borehole for you here. If the government was alive to its responsibility, it's not my duty as the Archbishop to give you water. It's the duty of the government. But because that is not happening, we come in our own little way. So I am saying we should never forget those in the outskirts. And this is the temptation in Nigeria. We concentrate on the capital. We concentrate on the big cities. And we neglect to develop the rural areas. And that is why the people in the rural areas are rushing to go to the center. The center becomes so overcrowded. Crime begins to happen. The infrastructure becomes inadequate. And then there are problems. But if we allow our rural areas to be well developed by government, you will have water, electricity, you will have good education here, medical services, and you don't need to go into a Gariki or Maitama or Asokoro. So I think it is important that we make this clear. And that is why, since I came to Abuja as the Archbishop, I insist that the center is not all. We have the center, we thank God, we will give them services, but we must not forget those in the periphery. And I'm saying you are those in the periphery, and we shall never forget you.
He further called for change in character which religion ought to propagate.
And during Lent, we suspend it because we feel that is a penitential period. That is a season when we look in with great regret. We look inside our heart with regret. What have we done that is not good? What did you do against your neighbor? Gossiping, backbiting, backstabbing. What have you done against your neighbor? That you don't talk to your neighbor, you hate your neighbor, you are jealous, envious about your neighbor. What have you done? So this period affords us the opportunity to look inwards. And that is why we suspend the Hallelujah. Hallelujah, I told you, is the song of the angels. And we suspend the Hallelujah in order to help us to focus on this penitential journey. The journey in which we are telling God, I am sorry, I will not do this again, I will try to do better. And that is why we say we suspend the Hallelujah. And then after 40 days, the Easter Vigil comes, we burst out in singing Hallelujah, because Jesus is risen. And today everywhere in the world I mean, that people are singing, people are shouting, people are singing Hallelujah, Hallelujah. And that is our song. That is the song of joy. So we are happy that Jesus died. You people have been engaged in the Stations of the Cross and other spiritual activities during the Lenten season. And we were celebrating the Passion Week. Jesus was arrested after he entered triumphantly into Jerusalem. They welcomed him, so Hosanna, Hosanna. And then as he entered Jerusalem, it became a different story. They arrested him and maltreated him. They condemned him unfairly. Pilate, the governor who knew Jesus was not guilty and said so himself. He said, Jesus is not guilty. I didn't find any offense in him. Yet he offered him to be crucified because the crowd was shouting, crucify him, crucify him. He couldn't stick to his conscience and decide that, no, this man is not guilty, let's free him. They rather freed the armed robber, Barabbas, and they condemned Jesus to death.
The Chief Shepherd of Abuja Archdiocese also lamented the justice system of the nation, which victimizes the poor, in reference to the judgment received by Christ.
And that happens to us in our country, that those who are guilty go free. Those who have committed no offense are the ones that are picked up. And those who are weak, they have nobody, no money, no power, nothing. They are the ones that the law catches up with. But those who have the money, who have the connections, have the power, they go free. Money can buy everything. In this our country, if you have money, you can buy everything. The only sad thing is that you cannot buy heaven. Can you buy heaven? Can anybody buy heaven? Gather all the money you can, gather all the big men you can and women, gather them together. Sorry, heaven is not for sale. It is only when you live a good life, then you are a candidate for heaven.